Security approached the well-dressed black woman as the bank manager smirked. "People like you need an appointment," he announced loudly. Little did he know she'd just sold her tech company for $200 million and was about to change everything. Tuesday, 10:17 a.m. First Capital Bank's downtown branch hummed with quiet efficiency. Marble floors gleamed under crystal chandeliers, reflecting the morning light that streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows. The air carried the distinct scent of wealth, subtle cologne, leather portfolios, and the faint metallic tang of money. Zara Thompson stood at the center of the lobby, a vision of composed elegance in her tailored navy suit. At 36, she moved with the quiet confidence of someone who belonged in rooms where billion-dollar decisions were made. Her Hermes briefcase, worth more than most monthly salaries, hung from perfectly manicured fingers. The subtle Rolex Daytona on her wrist could have paid off someone's student loans. Branch manager Richard Pearson, 42, barely glanced up from his desk. His eyes registered a black woman waiting in his lobby, and his brain made immediate calculations. Not a priority client, probably in the wrong place. His lips thinned with annoyance. "Ma'am," he called out, voice carrying across the marble expanse. "This is a private institution. Do you have an appointment?" Heads turned. The usual hush of respectful banking transactions evaporated. A young woman in line for the teller paused, her phone instinctively rising to chest level. "I'm here to discuss investment opportunities," Zara replied evenly, her voice carrying the precision of Harvard Business School and boardroom authority. Pearson's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Investment opportunities begin at $250,000 at First Capital. Our wealth managers only see clients by appointment." His gaze swept dismissively over her, missing every signal of wealth and status. "I understand," Zara said. "I'd like to speak with someone about—" "Ma'am," Pearson interrupted, standing now. "I'm going to have to ask you to make an appointment through proper channels. People like you can't just walk in demanding attention." The phrase, "people like you," fell like a bomb in the quiet space. The young woman with the phone was now openly recording. Two men in suits exchanged glances. An elderly couple whispered behind their hands. Pearson gestured to security. A guard approached, hand resting casually on his belt. "Is there a problem here, sir?" "This woman needs to be escorted out. No appointment, no account information, just walked in making demands." Zara hadn't raised her voice, hadn't made demands, hadn't done anything but stand in the lobby of a bank she'd entered as a potential client. Phones appeared throughout the lobby. 1, then 3, then 7. Silent witnesses capturing what everyone recognized was happening. "Sir," Zara began, her voice still measured, "I believe there's been a misunderstanding." "The only misunderstanding," Pearson said loudly enough for the entire lobby to hear, "is your assumption that you can walk in here and receive special treatment." The security guard stepped closer, his presence a physical threat. 12 hours earlier, Zara Thompson had signed papers selling her cybersecurity firm for $200 million. Now she was being treated like an intruder. What happened in the next 15 minutes would change everything. 7 hours earlier, dawn had barely broken over the city skyline. In the glass-walled conference room of the Westridge Hotel's penthouse suite, champagne flowed freely. 12 executives in pressed suits surrounded a gleaming mahogany table, their tired eyes masking the adrenaline of completing a deal that had taken months to negotiate. "To Cyber Shield," announced Michael Chen, CEO of Quantum Securities, raising his flute. And to Zara Thompson, who built a $200 million company from a startup that every venture capital firm in the country initially rejected. The room erupted in applause. Zara smiled, the weight of the moment settling on her shoulders. 8 years of grinding work, coding until 3 a.m., pitching to rooms of dismissive investors, proving herself repeatedly in an industry that questioned her credentials, despite her MIT degree and Pentagon consulting experience. "To new beginnings," she replied, her voice steady. The acquisition documents had been signed at 3:47 a.m. CyberShield, her creation, her legacy, now belonged to Quantum Securities. Her bank account would soon reflect a personal windfall of $42 million. The celebration wrapped by 9 a.m. Zara's first task as a newly minted multimillionaire, setting up the proper financial structures to manage her wealth. Her financial advisor had recommended First Capital Bank's private client services. Their downtown branch handles high-net-worth individuals, he'd explained. Just ask for their wealth management team. The Uber dropped her at First Capital's imposing granite entrance at 10:15 a.m. Inside, Zara approached the reception desk. "Good morning," she greeted the receptionist. "I'd like to speak with someone about private client services." The receptionist glanced up, her eyes traveling quickly over Zara's appearance. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, I was told I could inquire about." "One moment." The receptionist dialed an extension. "Mr. Pearson, there's someone here asking about private client services. No appointment." The emphasis on no appointment hung in the air. Richard Pearson emerged from his office, taking in Zara with a swift assessment. His smile tightened. "Can I help you?" "Yes, I'm interested in discussing your wealth management options." Pearson's response came with practiced condescension. "Our wealth management services begin at minimum deposits of $250,000. These require scheduled consultations." "That won't be a problem," Zara replied. "Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at our Midtown branch? They handle more accessible accounts." The implication was clear. "I'm comfortable here." Pearson's eyebrows rose slightly. "Ma'am, our clients typically come referred by existing members. I was referred by my financial advisor, David Mercer. I don't recall that name among our client list." Zara maintained her composure. "Mr. Pearson, I'm simply looking to discuss options for managing substantial assets." "Substantial?" His skepticism was undisguised. "And what exactly do you consider substantial?" "I believe that's a conversation for your wealth management team." Pearson's patience visibly thinned. "Without verification of assets or a proper appointment, I'm afraid I can't help you." Every word, every gesture communicated the same message. You don't belong here. As the confrontation moved to the center of the lobby, Zara remained poised, even as Pearson's dismissiveness escalated to open hostility. "Ma'am, I need you to leave now." Pearson's voice carried across the lobby, deliberately loud enough for everyone to hear. "Security, please escort this woman out." The guard Rodriguez stepped forward hesitantly. Something felt off about the situation, but orders were orders. "Ma'am, I need you to come with me." Zara hadn't raised her voice once, hadn't made demands, hadn't caused any disruption. "On what grounds am I being removed?" "This is private property," Pearson announced. "We reserve the right to refuse service." A young woman in a red blazer, Mia Chen, 24, financial influencer with 40,000 followers, pulled out her phone and tapped the live stream button. Her instincts for content that would resonate were flawless. "Hey followers," she whispered into her phone. "I'm at First Capital downtown and you won't believe what's happening. A black woman in a designer suit is being thrown out for existing, I guess." 15 viewers joined, then 40, then 100. "Mr. Pearson," Zara said, her voice perfectly measured, "I believe there's been a misunderstanding. I'm here as a potential client." "A potential client would have made an appointment," he replied, voice dripping with condescension. "A potential client would understand protocol." 2 more phones rose in the lobby, then 5 more. "I'd like to speak with your supervisor," Zara requested calmly. Pearson's face flushed. "I am the branch manager. There is no supervisor here." "Then I'd like the contact information for regional management." "That won't be necessary. You need to leave. Now." Pearson's voice tightened, his composure slipping as Zara's remained intact. Mia's viewer count hit 500. Comments poured in. "What's happening? Is this discrimination? Where is this bank?" Rodriguez placed his hand gently but firmly on Zara's elbow. "Ma'am, please." The touch, uninvited, unwarranted, crossed a line. Phones captured the moment from multiple angles. "Please remove your hand," Zara stated, quiet dignity in every syllable. "She's being difficult," Pearson told Rodriguez. "Remove her immediately." Mia narrated for her now 1,200 viewers. "They're physically removing her. She hasn't done anything. This is literally banking while black." Zara allowed herself to be guided toward the door, her expression betraying nothing. No anger, no embarrassment, just careful observation. As they reached the entrance, an older man in an expensive suit entered. His eyes widened at the scene. "Zara? Zara Thompson?" Thomas Bradford, 62, managing director at Westfield Investments. They'd met at a tech conference the previous year. "Thomas," she acknowledged with a nod. "What's happening here?" Bradford looked bewildered. This woman was causing a disruption, Pearson explained quickly. Bradford's eyebrows shot up. This woman is Zara Thompson. She just sold her company for $200 million yesterday. It was in the Wall Street Journal this morning. The lobby fell silent. Mia's live stream hit 2,500 viewers. Pearson's face drained of color. There must be some mistake. The mistake, Bradford said coldly, is obvious to everyone recording this incident. Zara straightened her jacket. Thank you, Thomas. I was just leaving. Zara, wait, Bradford called after her. If you're looking for banking services, Westfield would be honored. She paused at the door. I appreciate that. Outside, her phone buzzed with a news alert. She glanced down, then stopped. The headline from Banking Daily: First Capital Bank downtown branch listed for sale as parent company offloads underperforming assets. Zara Thompson stood perfectly still on the sidewalk. An idea forming. Her humiliation had just become an opportunity. Mia ended her live stream with a final whispered comment. 4,700 viewers just witnessed everything. This is going viral, folks. Zara slid into the back seat of her waiting Uber, mind racing with possibility. She pulled out her phone and dialed. Maya, it's Zara. Cancel my afternoon. I need you to contact James Wilson at Sterling Partners immediately. Tell him I want to discuss the First Capital downtown branch acquisition. Yes, today. 3 hours later, Zara sat in Sterling Partners' conference room, surrounded by financial analysts and lawyers. The PowerPoint slide displayed the struggling branch's financials. First Capital's parent company is desperate to offload this location, explained Wilson, managing director at Sterling. They've listed it at $800 million, but quarterly losses have accelerated. They'll likely accept $725 million. I want to move quickly, Zara replied. What's their decision timeline? The board meets Friday. They're reviewing offers then. Zara leaned forward. I want this completed before Friday. Make them an offer they can't refuse, with one condition: immediate transition of ownership. Wilson's eyebrows rose. May I ask why this specific branch interests you? Let's just say I had a revealing customer experience there this morning. By Wednesday afternoon, Zara's offer of $790 million, $10 million below asking, but with guaranteed immediate closing, had been accepted. By Thursday morning, the paperwork was complete. ZT Holdings, Zara's newly formed investment company, officially owned First Capital's downtown branch. The board's emergency Zoom call began at 9 a.m. Richard Pearson sat in his office, nervously adjusting his tie. The regional president had been vague about this ownership transition meeting, only emphasizing its importance. Good morning, everyone, began Regional President Diana Foster. As you know, our downtown branch has been acquired. This was a strategic decision by headquarters to focus on growth markets. Pearson nodded along, relieved. He'd heard rumors about branch closures. The acquisition closed yesterday afternoon. I'd like to introduce you to your new CEO, who will be joining us momentarily. Pearson's phone buzzed with a text from the lobby security desk. Dr. Thompson has arrived for the 9 a.m. meeting. His blood ran cold. There must be thousands of Thompsons in the city, he reasoned desperately. The conference room door opened. Zara Thompson walked in, wearing the same navy suit from Tuesday. The room fell silent. Good morning, she said, moving to the head of the table. I'm Dr. Zara Thompson, CEO of ZT Holdings and your new owner. Pearson's face drained of color. The security guard, Rodriguez, stared at his hands. Thank you for joining this transition meeting, Zara continued, her voice professional and measured. Let me be clear about my vision. This branch will become a model of excellence, inclusion, and respect. She made eye contact with each person around the table, finally landing on Pearson. Mr. Pearson, I believe you mentioned something about people like me needing appointments. The room held its collective breath. As it happens, Zara continued, people like me sometimes acquire banks. Outside the financial district, Mia Chen's phone notifications wouldn't stop. Her Tuesday live stream had reached 2.7 million views across platforms. News outlets had picked up the story. Banking while Black and Zara Thompson were trending nationwide. Her latest update exploded across social media. Breaking: the Black woman thrown out of First Capital Bank on Tuesday just bought the entire branch. Sources confirm tech CEO Zara Thompson acquired the location for $800 million through her investment firm. Back in the boardroom, Zara outlined her transformation plan. Effective immediately, we're implementing comprehensive bias training for all staff. We're creating anonymous reporting systems for customers who experience discrimination, and we're launching a $50 million fund specifically for minority entrepreneurs. She paused, surveying the stunned faces. I experienced firsthand how this institution treats people who don't fit a certain profile. That changes today. Foster, the regional president, nodded enthusiastically. This is exactly the direction banking needs to move. I agree, Zara replied, which brings me to staffing changes. She opened a folder. Mr. Rodriguez, your hesitation during Tuesday's incident suggests your moral compass remains intact. I'd like to promote you to head of security training. Rodriguez straightened in his chair. Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Miss Chen, Zara continued, addressing a young Asian woman at the far end, your customer satisfaction scores are exemplary. You're our new customer experience director. Finally, Zara turned to Pearson, who sat paralyzed with fear. Mr. Pearson, people in leadership positions set the cultural tone. You've clearly established yours. She closed her folder. Security will escort you to HR to process your exit package. As Pearson was let out, his final view was of Zara Thompson sitting confidently in the chair he'd occupied for 5 years, a woman he'd deemed unworthy of basic respect just 48 hours earlier. 3 months after the acquisition, First Capital's downtown branch, now renamed Horizon Financial, looked dramatically different. The physical space remained elegant with its marble floors and crystal chandeliers, but the atmosphere had transformed completely. Welcome to our quarterly community impact meeting, Zara addressed the packed conference room. Local business owners, community leaders, and bank employees filled every seat. The slide behind her displayed impressive numbers: $12.4 million in new small business loans, 73% to minority entrepreneurs. Customer satisfaction up 47%. Employee retention improved by 32%. Banking isn't just about transactions, Zara continued. It's about building economic foundations for communities that have been historically excluded. The transformation hadn't come easily. Week 1 began with comprehensive bias recognition training, not generic corporate videos, but intensive workshops led by experts in financial discrimination. Every employee, from security to loan officers, participated. The bias assessment tool flagged my loan rejection patterns, admitted Marcus Lee, senior loan officer. I was declining qualified minority applicants at twice the rate of white applicants with identical financials. I never saw it until the data showed me my own blind spots. Zara implemented accountability systems beyond training. Anonymous customer feedback appeared on monitors throughout the branch. Loan approval rates were tracked by demographic categories, with disparities triggering automatic reviews. Customer service interactions were evaluated weekly for equity and respect. Most revolutionary was the Community Advisory Board, local leaders who provided input on lending priorities and service improvements. Their perspectives shaped bank policies previously decided in distant corporate boardrooms. Across town, Richard Pearson sat in a coffee shop, reading an article about Horizon Financial's transformation. 6 weeks of unemployment had given him uncomfortable time for reflection. The viral video of his behavior had made job hunting nearly impossible. His phone buzzed with a message from Dr. Wilson, the bias training consultant who had reached out after seeing the video. Position available, Equity Compliance Assistant at Financial Inclusion Institute. Entry level. Interested? Pearson hesitated, then typed, yes. Thank you for the opportunity. The journey from humiliation to education had been brutal, but necessary. The man who would start that entry-level position next Monday barely resembled the arrogant branch manager from the viral video. Back at Horizon Financial, Zara reviewed the quarterly results with her executive team. Loan defaults were down 28%. New account openings had increased 52%, particularly among Black and Hispanic businesses. The $50 million Minority Entrepreneurship Fund was fully deployed, with impressive early returns. These aren't just feel-good metrics, Zara explained to the Wall Street Journal reporter interviewing her. These are sustainable business results that prove inclusive banking isn't charity. It's smart business. The branch that had ejected her 3 months earlier now hosted financial literacy workshops, first-time homebuyer seminars, and entrepreneurship classes. Each initiative strengthened communities while building a loyal customer base. The revenge narrative had faded from headlines, replaced by business case studies on institutional transformation. Horizon Financial wasn't just Zara's personal victory. It had become a model for what banking could be. 1 year after Zara Thompson walked into that bank lobby, the impact of her response to discrimination extended far beyond one branch. 5 major financial institutions had implemented similar bias prevention protocols. 3 had appointed diversity officers at the executive level. The American Banking Association invited Zara to keynote their annual conference. The Horizon Method, as it became known, demonstrated that ethical banking and profitability weren't opposing forces. They were complementary strategies. Horizon Financial's downtown branch reported 31% higher profits than under previous ownership, with loan default rates cut in half. The viral video that captured Zara's humiliation had evolved into a movement. Respect in Banking campaigns pressured institutions nationwide to examine their practices. Federal regulators cited Horizon's metrics when proposing new anti-discrimination guidelines. Have you ever walked into a space where someone immediately decided you didn't belong? Zara asked during her TED Talk, which reached 2 million views. That feeling is universal, but how we respond defines our legacy. For Richard Pearson, now a junior analyst at the Financial Inclusion Institute, the lesson came through painful public exposure. For the banking industry, it came through hard data proving inclusive practices built stronger businesses. This story matters because discrimination doesn't just happen in dramatic viral moments. It occurs in quiet daily interactions across America. Your experiences matter. Your dignity matters. Your response matters. When faced with those who underestimate you, remember Zara Thompson. Dignity outlasts humiliation. Strategic action outperforms rage. Systemic change trumps personal revenge. Like this video if you've ever been judged before someone knew your worth. Comment with your own story of turning discrimination into opportunity. Subscribe to Black Narratives for more stories of transformation through dignity. The next time someone tries to put you in your place, remember, sometimes the most powerful response isn't outrage. It's excellence that changes the entire system.